What's up, gamers? Today we're looking at Broly Spurlock on Viserai into Butcher on Zen. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, where we're going to talk about the deck lists a little bit before we start going into the match. Let's start with Broly's deck list. Over the last, I guess, few months, I played Viserai quite a bit. I was on the Noah Bagelman World's version of Viserai, which I thought was kind of like, was considered like the way to play Viserai. But Brody has kind of been playing a different version. This is the same version, I believe, that Brody has brought to events before Worlds. But yeah, so let's talk about the key differences. So, the Noah Bagelman Viserai, which I usually play, the idea is that you want to be very strong into Armongers, so you play a lot of cards that we see here. We play Amplify the Arcanines, we play Rune Flash, Rune Rager Swarm, Swarming Gloom Veil, and this is part of your, basically, let's call it the war package, right? Basically, if you have a handful of these cards, you can very safely say war and convert your entire hand. And what really ties all of this together is Malefic Incantation. Malefic Incantation makes it so that it is very easy for you to, for example, open up your turn with the Rune Rager Swarm, and then if you have a blue in hand, you can still play like Amplify the Arcanine after, because Malefic is generating rune chance as you are attacking, and so it's kind of padding out your pitch cost so that you can play out your whole hand, even if you choose war. The other side of this package is the other side of this deck is the peace package. I guess from this deck list, the peace package is a little bit smaller. You have basically Become the Arcanite, you have Murder Time, Malefic Incantation, Read the Runes, okay? And the way that the other deck does it is that the other deck, I can show it to you actually. The way that the other Viserai list does it is that you have, again, you have the Malessings, but then you also have these like more weird cards. You have the Blessing of the Occult, you have the Runeblade Barriers, you have Arcane Cussing, and you're thinking, why do you play these terrible cards? And the reason that you play these cards is because you're on Sonata Galaxia, okay? This is the big difference between the two decks. So yeah, the big difference between Brody's list and the Noah Bagelman list is basically the choice of Sonata. Noah Bagelman is on Sonata Galaxia, which I like a lot. I think this card is insanely busted for Viserai, because oftentimes you'll have just a bunch of rune chants lying around. You get to play this, you get to grab some aura like Blessing of the Occult or another Malefic Incantation, pure use, just slap it on the board. It's very hard to interact with, it's great setup. The value on this card also doesn't really make a lot of sense, because you're usually playing it for free, and you're like getting 3 rune chants plus 1 from the Sonata. It's just a lot of value, it's really strong. But Brody is on the other Sonata Arcanix, which I guess is kind of like the traditional Sonata that Viserai plays. So this one reveals a bunch of cards from the top of your deck, and then for each non-attack action card you get to put an attack action card into your hand. I don't really like this card because it's pretty high variance in my opinion. Like you need this card to like line up in a certain way. Also, you can't really discount it to do really broken stuff like you do with Sonata Galaxia. You have to actually pay for the cost. So what I see most of the time is that you resolve this with X equals 0. And it's your non-attack action starter to get Viserai's ability online. But there is some stuff that I don't understand about this checklist, okay? And now we're going to start getting into the questions I have for the match. So why are we playing so many Drawn to the Dark Dimension? We have 3 red Drawn to the Dark Dimension, 3 yellow Drawn to the Dark Dimension, and 2 blue Drawn to the Dark Dimension. This is a lot of copies of this card. We aren't even playing like this many copies of Amplify the Arcanite, Rune Flash. Like clearly this Drawn to the Dark Dimension is a very important card in the deck, and I'm really wondering why. In my opinion, Drawn to the Dark Dimension is a really insane powerful card when you have stuff like Mauvrian Skies and you're constantly giving it go again, right? Because that's when I think that this card gets really good value. If you're playing it without go again, like maybe at the end of your turn to get a draw, I don't really understand how this card is going to be powerful. Another card that you'll see that Brody has also prioritized very highly is Rune Ragers. We're playing all 9 Rune Rager Swarms. And I like this more. I think this card, like if there's Malefic on the board, this card is just free damage. It's really hard to block, in my opinion. Not hard because the numbers are great, but because it's hard to justify giving up cards to block Rune Rager Swarm. Like the red one, okay, sure, you can like put your block 3 in front of the 3 power Rune Rager Swarm and everything's fine. But when it's like the yellows and the blues are giving up a card to block 2 or 1, it just makes blocks very inefficient, which I think is very powerful. Those are questions for Brody's deck list. Is why so many drawn to the Dark Dimension, and did Sonata look good? I guess is the other big question that I have, because I don't know, I'm just a big hater of this card. I don't like it at all. Okay, now let's look at Nick Butcher's list. So I know a little bit less about Zen, but one of my local players has been playing it a lot. At least I understand like some of the matchups. So let's see what goes on here. We have 3 Aspect of Tiger Body, which is very standard. 2 Breed Anger. I also like Breed Anger. I think it's a good extender. 3 Chase the Tail, Command and Conquer, and Lightning Strike. Okay. This is where you start getting to some of the wonky stuff. So we have 3 Growl Red and 3 Harmony of the Hunt. Growl Red is a card that I really don't like this card, but a lot of Zens are playing it. There's probably some value here that I just don't realize, but I really dislike a 0/4/3 blocks 2 that will sometimes have +1. But I guess cards like Growl are kind of padded out by the next choice of card, which is Harmony of the Hunt. Harmony of the Hunt is 1/4/3, go again. When this attacks, if you've pitched a blue card, create a Crouching Tiger. So you may be thinking, Soren, why do you like Harmony of the Hunt, but you don't like Growl? And the reason for that is because while I think Growl is this very strange payoff card, right? Because it's a 0/4/3 that gives you a very small payoff if you play a Tiger this turn. Harmony of the Hunt, on the other hand, is a 1/4/3, which is worse. But it creates a Tiger, it's different because it becomes an enabler rather than a payoff. So to kind of go a bit deeper into that, if you open up your turn with, let's say you play a blue, you pitch another blue into Harmony of the Hunt, you poke them with the stick, your Transcend can grab Chase the Tail, right? Because Zen is making you 1 Tiger, this is making you another Tiger. Harmony of the Hunt has effectively turned on your Chase the Tail. So I think if your plan is to go very fast and play your Chase the Tails as quickly as possible to overwhelm your opponent with offensive value, I think playing these card of cards which generate Tigers is a good way to do it. So generally I like the Tiger generators more than I like the Tiger payoffs, because I think you already have, like, Chase the Tail is just the Tiger payoff, right? This card is insane. And I think things like Growl, like, this is a big step down. Big step down. Okay, then we have 100 Winds. We only have 1 Molinky, which is a bit surprising to me. I think Molinky, when you're on a more mid-rangey plan, this card is insane. It's just amazing value. You can do like poke them with the blue starter, pitch a blue, poke them with the stick, activate Zen, play the Tiger, play Molinky, and it's very efficient damage. It's a great mid-range game. We're also playing Weakest Link. This is presumably to make Nu sad, which is always on for that. You should make Assassin players sad, they deserve it. Tiger Swipe, just another good Tiger payoff. Wax on red, wax on yellow. Okay, so this is interesting, because this at a first glance is to make new players sad. Again, this is just to bother assassins, but I think there's actually another layer here, because we are also on 3 wax off. And so I think, and we'll probably see this in the match, that we're playing this high number of wax-ons because we really want to create Zen state tokens when we're playing into the Rune Blades, Viserai and Aurora. Viserai especially, if you make a Zen state token, he is extremely sad. It's like really, really bad. It's very hard for Viserai to deal with Zen state on the board. Especially Brody's list. I think if you're on the Noah Bagelman list, you can kinda maybe just create a lot of rune chants for 2 turns, but even that is not super likely to happen, that your hands will allow you to play that way. But on this Brody list, it looks really hard to handle a Zen state token. Once again, Blue Harmony of the Hunt. I also like this card in blue. My only big question here is why we're playing this card instead of Tiger Form. Yeah, I just like this one more, but maybe the idea is that Tiger Form Incantation, because it puts all the power on a Tiger, the Tigers maybe will sometimes go for 4 and they're easier to block than if the Tigers go for 1. That might be the idea. We were here, Harmony of the Hunt, Homage, levels. Okay, it's all pretty standard. We see blue Pouncing Key, which is interesting, that we're playing the blues but not the reds. Key Unleashed blue. I also like this. I had an epiphany yesterday. One of the big demons that I've been struggling with, like one of the big doubts I had, is why the Runaways were playing yellow Key Unleashed. And I think yesterday I realized why. Because I was looking at this and I saw, oh, this is a blue that Nu can play maybe for 5, which is very scary if you're Zen. I think Zen Nu endgames rarely go to Nu activation, because Zen doesn't really have that many good blues to play. But when they do go to Nu activation, and if Nu gets a real turn with Zen cards, she basically always wins, is my experience. So I think denying her stuff like Key Unleashed is a good idea. So I understand why you would play it in yellows, because you don't want the reds, but you also don't want to give the new the option to play the blues. So Rising Sun, Setting Moon, Snag, this is more new hate, Stir the Pot, Gradient Scales, and Tiger Form Incantation. Okay, so we're playing really a lot of Tiger enablers, right? And I think this is very smart. I think as Zen, sometimes you're attached to the fact that Chase the Tail is a very powerful card, but you need to find Aspect of Tiger Body or vice versa. You need to play them together to get the full value, basically. And I think when you're playing these Tiger generators, Tiger Form Incantation and Harmony of the Hunt, you're just going to be able to resolve all of your Chase the Tails much faster, which I think the speed is important in a lot of matchups. Then we have 2 Warmonger's Diplomacy and 1 Wind Chakra. I think 1 Wind Chakra is insane. This card is so good. I would play 3 in basically every Zen deck until the end of time. 0 for 3 blue is amazing. A lot of Tiger generators I expect will have us resolve Chase the Tail very early. Another thing that I'm looking out for is I think that Wax On, Wax Off is going to destroy Viserai. Okay, there's 2 more things I want to look out for. I want to look out for Growl and I want to look out for Red Harmony of the Hunt. The reason I want to look at these 2, just to clarify, is because for Harmony of the Hunt, I want to understand if there's a good reason to not be on Tiger Form Incantation instead. And for Growl, you know, this list I'm kind of coming around to it because you have so many Tiger generations that I think it is feasible that you'll resolve all of your Chase the Tails and you'll still want more Tiger payoffs. Okay, let's get into the game. Okay, so turn 0 goes to Zen. Viserai just blocks with Resist to Rune Chance, pitching 1 card. Kind of a risky play, I think. It is not inconceivable that Zen has a lot of random damage on this turn 0 hand. I would maybe wait a little bit more if I was Brody before playing this Reduce to Rune Chance, but I think ultimately the play is like fine. Zen really wants to keep an arsenal. Okay, taking 1 from the Harmony of the Hunt, Tiger for 1. Oh, Tiger for 2. Okay, we already found something. So this is already something that we can learn from. Harmony of the Hunt blue, in this case, is better than Tiger Form Incantation blue, because it turns on Shuku for the Tiger. But this is only true for the blue. I'm more wondering about Harmony of the Hunt red and why we want that card in the deck. But this is already good info. Okay, Yellow Malefic, Rune Rager. This is a classic Viserai. I'm going to vomit a trillion value for no real good reason. So this is 3 plus 1 Rune Chant plus making another Rune Chant. I'm not sure why we have... Ah, okay, it's from Reduce to Rune Chants in the previous turn. Okay, making 2 Rune Chants. Block 3. Blocking 3 with Chase the Tail, very interesting. I'm guessing Zen has kind of a clunky hand and needs to keep everything else for the blue starters. Or maybe the hand is just clunky and Nick is looking to block with the entire hand. Something that is not really interesting, but something you have to realize about Viserai is that since he isn't presenting face up on hits most of the time, I think Brody's list actually has 0 face up on it, you can just block as efficiently as possible. You don't have to worry about, oh, what if they play a CNC at the end? They don't have a CNC, you're fine. So you can just like block for full value if that's what your hand wants to do. And so you get to just throw 3 in front of Rune Rager's Swarm. Okay, and then Sword for 1+2, which is very interesting because Noah Bagelman's list doesn't really love swinging Sword a lot of the time. It is very useful to keep Rune Chant, keep some Rune Chants in board to start off your turn. But this might also be the case that Brody maybe just has Reduced to Rune Chants in the arsenal, something like that, something that will generate a Rune Chant at the start of next turn, and makes it so that he's able to freely swing the sword here. This is being a very mid-rangey game from both sides, which I wasn't really expecting. Goes back to Viserai's turn, Viserai creates 3 Rune Chants and passes back. And this is kind of the powerful thing about Viserai, is that because you have these cards that generate Rune Chants, what you're able to do is, when your opponent is pressuring you, you get to accumulate value, right, in the form of Rune Chants. You get to play like Read the Runes, you just keep stacking up your Rune Chants, and when it's finally time to go off, your opponent is faced with like some really nasty turns that are hard to deal with. This is especially effective against like slower decks that cannot really threaten you super quickly. And against those decks, what you can do a lot of the time is at the start of the game you just block out and make a bunch of Rune Chants, and you play out your Malefics and all of that stuff, and then when you actually start firing, the value is just overwhelming. They just aren't able to stack value on the board in the same way that Viserai can, and that will edge you out a lot of games. So this is with all 3 modes, I believe. I think Nick selects +2 power and draw card, the Transcend gives it go again, and we have in hand left 1 Key Unleashed, and I don't remember the other card actually. Okay, grabbing Chase the Tail. So we might see one of those lines where we have a Tiger Generator Or maybe it's just aspect of Tiger Body in the arsenal. Let's see. Yeah, I believe that's Tiger Form Incantation Blue, if my eyes saw it correctly. Oh no, okay, it's not. It's Key Unleashed and Chase the Tail. Oh, is this double Chase the Tail? Bro, can you imagine? That would be crazy. Also, I don't know any one card that could bring this all together. Okay, Harmony of the Hand for 3. Okay, then it's Tiger. Oh, okay, the second Chase the Tail is going in the arsenal, I believe. So this is 1 plus... Bro, this is so much damage, oh my god, Zen. So this started with 5 go again, Stick for 2, Harmony of the Hand for 1, Tiger for 2, 1 from the Stick and 1 from Shuku. Now Chase the Tail for 4, and then Tiger for 3 again. Really devastating turn for from Zen here, and still another Tiger for 3 coming up after. Viserai down to 32 with 4 rune chants on the board. The levels really made this turn go crazy, because I think if not for the levels, you're kind of chilling if you're Viserai here. This damage isn't that insane, but the levels, like adding just a clean 1 card 5 to the mix this really tough. Okay, Viserai down to 28 for no good reason. Let's see what the crackback is. Okay, Rune Flash with 4 rune chants, creating 2 rune chants, 1 from Malefic. So I was about to say, the only thing that you're really scared of if you're Zen here is if you get hit by a random Succumb. That would suck. And yeah, Brody just has a Succumb. Sending a breakpoint and hitting them with the Succumb is pretty strong here. There is an argument that if you're Brody, you should play the Succumb as not instant to create a rune chant from the Rune Flash, but I think that would be wrong. Your argument would be bad. What you really want here is you want Zen to not have the information to put equipment in front of this Rune Flash. Especially if your next attack is kind of weak, which is... there's a chance that there is not even another attack. This will just grab a bunch of cards out of Zen's hand and kind of force them into an awkward position. If I'm Brody here, I think I take out the Ancestral Harmony. Yeah, if you leave them with the Ancestral Harmony, like the turn is always going to be bad from Zen in the situation. If you leave them with the Ancestral Harmony, you're running the risk that they will hit something nasty off the top and you'll have to deal with that. Okay, drawn to the Dark Dimension, 3+1, making a rune chant, and we draw a card into arsenal. So how do we pay for this? Let me see. Oh, okay, Tunic. I guess one of the benefits of Drawn to the Dark Dimension is that unlike Amplify the Arknight and Rune Flash, it only costs 2. So it is easier to discount than the other 2. Brody finally gets a 5-card hand. If you're Viserai, you love to find some rancid combination of cards, right? You love to see, oh, I find my Mordred Tide, my Rune Rager, Revel in the Rune Blood, I do 18 damage, good night. But doesn't always pan out that way. Brody is actually forced to open up with 3. So this is swarming for 3 without go again, which is very suspicious. If you're Nick, I think this should be ringing alarm bells. The options that Brody has here to give this go again are Succumb to Temptation once again, and Spellbound Creepers. So if you're Nick, you're incentivized to really AB this rune chant, because that way you turn off Succumb to Temptation. The only thing that Brody has that can give this go again is the boots, is using the boots. And using the boots is a pretty big commitment. I might... would I take this rune chant? Let me think. So there is an argument that here you're fine taking the rune chant because... No, never mind. I was thinking maybe you can take the rune chant because you can just block the swarming. You'll be forced to block out for the rest of the turn, right? And that's not really what you want to be doing as Zen, so you might as well give up a card here, so you're able to take damage instead of taking disruption. I think that's preferable if you're Zen. Zen actually blocking, which I guess makes some sense because Nick was forced to pitch the Transcend card. So maybe there's just no way to transcend this card this turn, and if that's not the case, usually your damage ceiling as Zen gets much lower. Okay, it just blocks out with the entire hand basically, draws back, passes back to Brody. Once again, we see Drawn to the Dark Dimension used as a way to get basically a Ponder token at the end of the turn, to allow you to play more 5-card hands. And maybe that's just the application, maybe it's not more complicated than that. Before the game we were trying to rationalize like, oh, what good reasons are there to play this? Maybe it's just nice to have a Ponder. I guess technically it's good value, right? 3 plus another card. It is good, even if you can't use the card. Okay, so it's clown time. Brody has gone to the circus, drawn Mordred Tide, about to clown on this end. The line is Mordred Tide into Deadwood Dirge. Under these circumstances, I think Deadwood Dirge makes 6 rune chants, and then this rune flash is going to create 2 more from Viserai. Don't know the last card in hand, but if it is... Oh, this is another situation where Drawn to the Dark Dimension would be really strong, right? Drawn to the Dark Dimension here makes you 2 more rune chants and draws you a card. And because it only costs 2, you can actually play it for free in the Mordred Tide my turn. That's another great application of Tron to the Dark Dimension, is getting to play it for free in the Mordor-Tide turn. But Brody actually has 2 cards in hand, not 1. I was wrong. So it's probably going to be another go again attack before the finisher. Something that I also like doing in this spot as Viserai is, if I have a blue that it's difficult to convert in hand, I will Mordor-Tide, Grasp, and then do like Deadwood Dirge and all of that stuff. Oh, Zen blocks with Traverse. Bad news, buddy. This never ends well for the opponent. Because we're playing against Viserai, Nick Butcher is fairly free to just do this without many consequences. Oh, but the last move of the turn is just Sword for 3+2, which is sad. Alright, the last card is Sink Below, I believe. This is a real bummer. You ideally want to go a little bit taller on your Mordor-Tide turns, but honestly, against a lot of decks, what Brody did is basically just enough. Your Mordor-Tide does not need to be like 5 cards, absolute max value every time, because this will just... this is enough to get it done, a lot of the time. But I'm not sure that's true for Zen. We see aspect of Tiger Body, looking to pair it up with the Chaser Tail that we put in the arsenal a few turns ago. Let's see how we convert the rest of the hand. Tiger for 1. Still concealing a lot of intent with a lot of cards in hand, which is scary. Chase the Tail for 4. And once again, we're doing the thing where we see this a lot from aggro players. It's the correct way to do it. Since you've shown aspect of Tiger Body, it's pretty obvious for Brody that you have the Chase the Tail. So before you show the cards that you actually have in your hand, you're going to play out the entire Chase the Tail line and force them to be wondering the entire time what's coming after the Chase the Tail line. Sink Below blocks for 4, full value. Aspect of Tiger Body for 3. Okay, so what is the decision? What is the decision from the side of Brody here? We have Malefic Incantation red, Rune Rager yellow, Rune Rager red, I believe. Is it just 3 Rune Ragers? That would be so funny. Yeah, I think it's Malefic Incantation red and Rainbow Rune Ragers, which is... Oh no, there's Runic Reckoning in there as well. Okay, blocking with the blue Rune Rager. Tiger for 4 with Shuku. Blocking with Boots plus Runic Reckoning. Okay. Tiger Swipe for 4. Ooh, that's pretty nasty. Definitely a great extender that doesn't really cost anything from Nick here. The combat chain is already going out of the table. Brody blocking 3. And finally 100 wins for 3. Here's something that I'm wondering about. Brody on these Chase the Tail turns is opting to block out a lot. And I'm wondering what the game plan side of this is. As Viserai, I think I would be scared of a Zen State token ruining my life in this game. And as a result, I think there's a temptation to try to play the game as aggressively as possible so that you reduce the chances of seeing the Zen State token. However, the counterpoint to this, if you play that way and the Zen State token does show up, you basically lose the game instantly, I think. So it seems that the decision from Brody is to play it a bit slower. Like when you see these turns where obviously you can block with great value, which is not every turn against Zen, by the way. Against Zen, a lot of turns you like, even if you want to block with your entire hand, you can't get great defensive value. But when they start doing fucking Chase the Tail, 100 wins, doing tricks on it, yeah, you can block out 12 pretty easily. It seems like Brody, I think this is the second time where Brody has decided that, okay, this turn I'm able to block, I will block. Also, I think the hand maybe didn't convert super well. Maybe this is the plan for Brody, is just play good value, and it happens that good value in this game has been blocking, but I think it's interesting nonetheless. Sword for 3 with Tunic, very interesting. It's a play that I don't like to do very often, but again, Brody's deck is a little bit different from the one I'm used to playing. Nick just taking the 3, which makes sense. I think if you're Nick here and you have a hand that converts, you're pretty happy to, you know, just take the Sword for 3 that's extremely not scary and really put the pressure on Viserai. Despite everything, I'm kind of surprised. Brody is quite a bit ahead in life, and I'm not sure why. Like from the game that we've been watching, Zen has been getting some pretty good turns, and I feel like Viserai's turns have been kind of mid, but still Viserai is ahead, which is crazy. I guess Viserai is kind of just like the value machine. Okay, we're seeing Harmony of the Hunt red. This is another one of the cards that we're looking out for. I'm guessing this is to turn on your third Chase the Tail, if I had to guess. Okay, 100 wins for 3. This might be a no transcend kind of turn. And if that is the case, I think having a Tiger Generator here is good, because you get to hit them with the stick. Also, the way that Nick is sequencing this, it is concealing whether Zen wants to use weapon or play a disruption card like Command and Conquer, because we're saving the 2 pitch for later into the turn. Okay, Tiger for 1, CNC. Okay, so Brody just blocks out the CNC, goes back to Brody's turn. Malefic. Yeah, and this is, if I'm Zen here, I'm pretty scared, I think, because you've only seen one Mordred Tide, and if you get hit with Mordred Tide with 2 Malefic Incantations on the board, it's really scary. That's when Visorai's damage starts going absolutely dummy, as they say. Okay, we see Growl, another one of the cards that we're looking out for. Let's see if in this situation, and this is supposed to be like the perfect spot for Growl, right? We have a big hand, we want to convert everything into damage. In the ideal big hand, we'll have multiple ways to create a Tiger, and so we don't need our starter, which is Growl, to create a Tiger. We can use our starter as a payoff. Let's see if it pans out in this situation. Okay, Brody blocks 3. Aspect of Tiger Body. So, okay, this is... I hadn't thought of this line. I like this line. This is good. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening here. Before the game, I was telling you about how... Let's look at the decklist again, actually. So, one of Zen's biggest cards, most powerful, most insane value, is Chase the Tail, right? Chase the Tail is really good. It's a 1/4/7 when it's turned on. Typically, the traditional school of thought is that Chase the Tail is a 2-piece combo with Aspect of Tiger Body. And the problem with this is that ideally you would want to be able to play your most powerful card in more situations than when you have exactly one other card in your deck. And it's possible, you know, most deck lists will be running like Biting Breeze, which goes for 1 on hit, creates a Tiger, and you'll have like some niche ways to turn on Chase the Tail that are not Aspect of Tiger Body. However, what Nick has accomplished with this deck list, I believe, is through playing 6 Armory of the Hands, which create a Tiger, and 3 Tiger Form Incantation Blue, which creates a Tiger. So by increasing the density of cards that create Tigers, Nick is able to separate Chase the Tail from Aspect of Tiger Body. So Chase the Tail, you can play them very frequently because you have so many cards that turn on the effect, and Aspect of Tiger Body is less crucial. The next problem that rises up is, okay, if Aspect of Tiger Body isn't necessary to turn on my Chase the Tails, what are we doing with this card? Because this card, if it's not combined with Chase the Tail, it's kind of just mid, right? It's a 0/4/3 with conditional go again that conditionally creates a Tiger. The idea of Growl, I believe, is that it's another 2-piece with Aspect of Tiger Body. These cards work very well together because this by itself is a 0/4/3, this by itself is 0/4/3. Together they are 2-card 7. And it's a 2-card 7 with a lot of go-agains that you can very easily extend into more stuff. So I think the idea of Growl is that when your Chase the Tail becomes decoupled from Aspect of Tiger Body, you can afford to play other synergies like Growl that want to see Aspect of Tiger Body, and these two are like friends, right? It's a very similar play pattern to Chase the Tail Aspect of Tiger Body, where you play your payoff red first, and then you play Aspect of Tiger Body to enable it, which is a very interesting line. I'm more sold on Growl now, even though, you know, I've been historically a hater of this card, but this is a good line. Overall, I think this deck from Nick is very cool. It's very... I think sometimes the lines for Zen decks are very straightforward, like they're very simple. These cards want to be played with these cards want to be played with these cards. Nick has kind of melded everything together in this way that makes it so whatever piece he has in hand can be used to extend with cards that he surges from the hero ability. Rest of this turn is Stick for 2, Tiger for 1, Harmony of the Hunt. Okay, once again, I'm left wondering whether we would have preferred Tiger Form Incantation here. Is this splitting damage? In this situation, there is actually a benefit to playing Harmony of the Hunt over Tiger Form Incantation. The difference is, if this card in this turn is Tiger Form Incantation, you'll be doing Tiger for 4. Because it is Harmony of the Hunt, you're doing Attack for 3, Tiger for 1. And you may be wondering, bro, why does this matter? Literally shut up. The reason that this matters is because when you're playing against defensive decks that have a lot of defense reactions that they're trying to convert, splitting damage like this is really annoying for them. One of Zen's biggest strengths has always been, in my opinion, that not only is the damage high, the damage is hard to block efficiently. And doing it this way makes it as hard to block efficiently as possible. Sorry, I forgot to mention, the reason that the Tiger would be for 4, the reason it would be Attack for 3, Tiger for 1 is because of Tiger Stripe Shook. This ends up not being the line, by the way. The line is just send Tiger to the bottom to win Lightning Strike for 5 with draw, which is insane. Like crazy value. Okay, and this turn is pretty backbreaking, I think. But still, we've seen zero Zen State tokens, we've seen no wax on, no wax off. Okay, Brody left with 1 Malefic, 1 Swarming, and Amplify the Arc Knight. If I Brody here, I think I block with Amplify. It's a hard call though. I would block with Amplify, play Malefic, Arsenal, Swarming, and I'm hoping, praying to God that next turn I draw my Mordred Tide and I win the game. Okay, but that is not the decision that Brody goes for. Face Purgatory to get rid of Zen's Arsenal, plus 2 cards. The real big shame here is that you're forced to give up your Malefic, right? And you draw a random card which might be hard to convert on this turn. Well, I guess maybe it's not that hard to convert, right? Because the truth is that Swarming is just live instantly because of the boards that you have. Double Malefic makes it so that Swarming is always 4-go again. Okay, we found Become the Arc Knight. What would I do here? In most matchups, what I would like to do here is play Become, discard Swarming, grab Malefic, and play the Malefic. But against Zen on 10 life, I think this line is not correct. Okay, so Brody opts to go with Swarming for 4-go again. I guess we're arsenaling the Malefic, which is the Become the Arc Knight, which is a little dubious. Sorry, give me a moment. I need to mute notifications. This is extremely loud. Okay, so 4-go again, making 2 rune chants, firing off the rune chants, presenting 6. If you're Zen here, you block with access from hand basically, and nothing else. Yeah, Become the Arc Knight goes into the arsenal, which is not the best arsenal. We see Growl once again. Let's see if we're also able to convert it this turn. It's surprised we don't see a blue starter before Growl. I think that clues us in that Zen might not be able to convert this entire hand into damage. This Growl might be a fake threat. Oh, I think that's a juicy hand on the side of Brody. I see Drawn, I see Runic Reckoning, I think I see Rune Rager Swarm. I think I see Deadwood Dirge. Okay, that might actually turn the game around for Brody. Blocking the Runic Reckoning and Zen just passes. So on this turn, Growl was just 3, go again, nothing else. I guess that's fine. Who's your competition for 1-card plays? Zen's 1-card plays are actually pretty bad, so I think this is fine. Yeah, it's not Growl's fault that this turn was bad. Zen's 1-card hands are just not that good. Playing Become the Arc Knight, discarding Rune Rager Swarm, grabbing Mordred Tide. Ooh, okay, that's a good reason to keep Become the Arc Knight actually. Because since you have the Malefic incantations on the board, you can basically force this Mordred Tide, and even if you're not playing a full card hand, this is going to be like big damage. However, if Zen hits you with the Zen state here, you are kinda doomed. Oh, this is so much damage. Brody plays Deadwood Dirge, making 5 rune chants, and now it's drawn to the Dark Dimension for free, making 6 more rune chants. Holy moly, man, this deck is so strong. Now these are 2 good decks going at each other. Once again, drawn to the Dark Dimension, the role of this card has been throughout the entire game, draw me an arsenal. And I guess that makes a lot of sense now that I'm thinking about it, because Brody has built a deck in a way where there's no bad arsenals. You're very, very happy to blindly arsenal cards, and it always kind of just works out. And this is actually not possible in the no bailment list, because if you blind draw cards, you're going to draw Rune Blood Barrier at some point, and you're gonna want to jump off a bridge. Okay, Nick plays Warmongers and passes, and this is like against these Viserai decks, this is often like the critical juncture, is you Warmongers Viserai with 5 cards in hand, how much can they convert? There's a Malefic on the board, which means that Viserai might actually be able to convert something, but I'm looking at the hand, it's not looking great. It is looking like a peace hand. I guess we get to play Machinations and Malefic, which is not bad, but the real problem here is that you're at 10 and this Warmonger is forcing you to play, it's forcing you probably not to attack Zen, and if you don't attack Zen, you're going to have to deal with 5-card hands, with a 5-card hand while you're at 10, which is very scary. Okay, no, he chose War. Having the Rune Flash in Arsenal really unlocks your turn here, because if you don't have this, you can choose War. Okay, and now I think the line is going to be Rune Flash, Swarming, Sword. Arsenal, either Rune Blading, which one? What do you Arsenal here? I don't love arsenaling the Sink below, but I think it's correct. And you try to hold off Zen's turn. You're presenting a lot of damage. This is the 6 rune chance from Mordred Tide last turn, remember. Playing both of them and... Oh! I forgot about it, dude. It's a disaster, dude. Okay, so Zen double transcends and activates Kasaya. So 1 blue is blocking all the rune chants on this turn, plus some extra damage. And also preventing a lot of damage on the next turn. Oh, that sucks. Oh, when we find the Waxon. Oh no. Is it double Zen state? Can you imagine? That would be so funny. Zen taking 1. Rune Flash is at 5 because Zen played Grain that tips the scales. Yeah, now it's swarming for 4+1. Yeah, it's 4+1, but Zen state is going to prevent the damage, right? So, yeah, this is really bad. I think this is where the game turns. I was expecting to see the... I guess I was expecting to see the Zen state come out earlier, but Nick just played very disciplined and found like the perfect spot to do it. Okay, sword for 3. No bot making a rune chant, I guess. Sad. Yeah, and Zen just takes a 3, probably going to convert an okay hand. Big problem is Viserai is forced to play out an entire other hand with Sunset on the table, which is really hard, really bad. Especially when you consider that we don't know if Brody has sideboarded them in, but we haven't seen any Revels, which you know would be an excellent card to close out the game in this situation. There's still one Mortar Tide missing, and now Zen is going to be playing what is effectively a mid-range hand, which is going to be not a lot of offensive value. And the thing that Brody would love to do the most with this hand is block to wait out the Zen state. But because Zen is going to be on this mid-rangey turn, they can force you to... It's just uncomfortable, right? You would love to block with the entire hand, but they're going to force you to block with some and attack with some. Your blocks are very efficient. Hopefully, your offense is going to be inefficient because of the Zen state token. It's just a hard spot to be in if you're Brody. Tick for 2. What was the search? Oh, Molding Key. Okay, so if I don't see the Molding Key come out, I guess in fact, now that I'm thinking about it, this is one of the things we were looking out for, is whether we're going to miss the lack of Molding Keys. Not really. The deck has been kind of just flying high. I guess we end most turns with an action point, but since we have these Tiger Generators that cost 1, I guess the pitch is actually pretty tight. So this is what you do normally, right? Is you use the weapon with 2 pitch, you pitch 1 more for Chaser Tail, you pitch 1 more for Molly Key, and your Tiger Generator costs 0, so this all works out. Because Nick is on a list that has a lot of 1-cost Tiger Generators, finishers like Molly Key lose some value, because obviously you want to resolve the Chaser Tail, and so you're actually pitching 2 to the weapon, 1 to your Tiger Generator, whichever one it is, and 1 for Chaser Tail. And so your finisher has to be a 0-cost. But I guess calling it a finisher isn't really accurate in the case of this deck. They're not really finishers, they're just payoffs, right? Stuff like Growl fills the place of Molding Key. Okay, so Brody ends up blocking with Armor and Sink below the Molding Key, blocks the stick taken from the Tiger. Now it's Deadwood Dirge, making 3 rune chants and pass turn. Okay, this is actually pretty fine, right? Brody has managed to survive the Zen State token with still a life lead and 3 rune chants on the board, which is really good. This is pretty powerful. So Tiger for 0, Breathe Anger for 4, making another Tiger. Next Tiger goes for 1, there's 2 floating. Nick is going to force Brody to guess if it's weapon or CNC. It's CNC, we see it in hand, but Brody doesn't know that. Good players are doing good player things, they're checking the graveyards. Something else that I'm thinking about now is I don't think we've seen any Sonatas resolved from Brody, which is interesting. We see Read the Runes, Amplify, okay, Tiger for 1. Good call to use the Sink below there from Brody. You could be stuck losing your arsenal in this spot, taking 1. So CNC for 6. The most value play for Brody here is to block with the 2 attacks and play Read the Runes. However, you might be out of time to be playing like that. Then getting to resolve 5-card hands here is really scary. You would love to pressure a little bit. Yeah, I think if you're Brody here, you need to go through the threat, think what is the most damage this 5-card turn can do to me. Always a scary math to do. Yeah, but I guess it's just the correct line. Block 6. Play Read the Runes, you have 6 rune chants on the board, and you pass. Okay, Wind Chakra, Transcend. This is not looking like insane damage from Nick, actually. Well, it depends on the search here. Maybe there's a search that does a lot of damage I'm just not thinking about. Bro, you know what I hate about this guy's Zen? I hate that the hero power makes the Tiger go to hand. Just put it in the banish. Why does it have to be in hand? Why do I have to deal with Enlightened Strike for 5 draw at the end of the turn? Aren't you a combo hero? Play your combos. Stop cheating out cards. Okay, so next Tiger gets +3, Stick for 2, Tiger is now going for 4. The search was Key Unleashed, so I'm guessing that we don't... Oh, I mean, we do have another Key Unleashed. Maybe the plan is to chain them back to back. Oh no, I think the plan actually is to put the Transcend in Arsenal, so you can guarantee that you have a search next turn, or you can increase the odds you have a search next turn. I think if you're Brody, you're supposed to take 3 here, block 3 in the next one. So you take 3, go to 5, and then maybe block 3 in the last one, go to 3 and try to explode them. Brody is losing his mind, doing math. Okay, blocks this one with Succumb. That's interesting. So the hand just doesn't convert well, I guess. It's very bad if you're Brody, because I still think that despite everything that has happened this game, Brody has a real shot of winning here. Like, this board state with 6 rune chants is very good for him. Okay, take 1, send 6. Ooh, because it triggers Shuku. That's nasty. Do you send Machinations? I'm not sure about these blocks from Brody. This seems weird. I don't know the arsenal. Maybe the arsenal changes the context. I think I would have done Rune Rager for 2, get a 2+6 rune chants, get a rune chant out of Malefic, Tunic, 3+1, with the sword. And that would be 8, 12 damage. 12 damage out of one card seems amazing. Where is the arsenal here? What are you cooking, Brody? Show me. Just pass. The most fearless man of all time, Brody Spurlock, absolutely does not care that Zen gets to play 5 cards again. Okay, we see the Tiger Form incantations coming in now. I'm not sure about Zen's deck size, but I think we're starting to reach the point where this Cosmic Awakening next cycle is probably going to be live. I don't know if it's not correct to play it right now, but probably not. I think it goes for 10 in this situation. 10 pulls 3 cards out of hand, Brody gets an arsenal, probably explodes you. Yeah, pitch Cosmic Awakening for Tiger Form incantation, makes a Tiger, transcend, what's the line here? Probably Breathe Anger, I think. Oh no, Key Unleashed. Okay, so we're really just pounding out these Key Unleashes now. Okay, so this is going in for 1, now it's going in for 2, now it's going in for 1. Yeah, this is the really annoying like split damage that Zen does. It's just so hard to block this efficiently, man. Brody really incentivized to... if Brody has a good hand to convert here, this should be GG's, I think. For Nick should die. Murder Tide? Okay, so I think... Here's what I think happened, chat. The reason that Brody played the last turn the way that he did is because he knew there's still one Ninth Blade. Ninth Order, Blood, Ninth Blade, Oath. You know the one. The yellow Runeblade card that costs 9 and goes for 9. I think Brody probably did some math and thought about the pitch deck and knew... Well, no, it wasn't pitch deck because we searched the deck. But Brody probably knew that the odds of him finding Ninth Blade were pretty high soon. And so opted to not explode his rune chance because there was a chance that he would be able to play the Ninth Blade. I don't think I really agree with this idea because I think Zen is going to do what Zen is doing, which is like doing splitting the damage in a bunch of chain links that you can't block. And you can't really survive until you see the Ninth Blade. But let's see how it pans out. Because Brody can just block with 2 cards here and send the Ninth Blade for 9 plus 6. 9 plus 6 would be a 2 card 15. 2 card 15 is pretty insane. Yeah, the shame now is that you to get this going you need to block with Murder Tide. Also depends on Brody's arsenal. If Brody wants to be like insanely greedy, he can try to resolve this Murder Tide and then still resolve the Ninth Blade, but that seems very, very risky. That's not how I would play it. What is the line here, Brody? Show me the line. If you want to be an insane psychopath, you can also block with 1 card plus Tunic. Because Grains has been resolved, so there's no risk of you dying. If your crackback is good enough, that might be the line. The thing is you need like such an insane crackback here, right? You need just the most absolute bonkers line. Oh, he's doing it. Holy shit. It's happening, chat room. I love holding the dice as you block, that's so funny. Yeah, go to 1. And let's you convert this hand, Brody. You got to keep the Murder Tide and the Ninth Blade. Is it worth it though? I'm not sure about how worth this was, to be honest. The play here I believe is to play Murder Tide and then play Ninth Blades in 9 plus 6, make 4 more rune chants for next turn. I don't know about this, because you're at 1. Zen is going to destroy you now. Like, you're not in the real Kodashi lock like Aira puts you in, but you're basically in the Kodashi lock like Aira puts you in. Because the odds of Zen having Chi every turn for the rest of the game are extremely high. Yeah, Murder Tide. Succumb to Temptation! Oh, I see, that's what changes the line. Brody is going to do 9 plus 8, okay? 8 rune chants, 9 physical. If Zen wanted to keep a card to attack back, they would need to block the 9, right? And then have 1 card left over to crack back with. However, because there is exactly 8 rune chants and Zen is at exactly 8 life, the only option that Nick has here is to fully block out. Like, pitch as much as they can to prevent the rune chants and then block 9 on the 9th blade. Why is this good? Because I was telling you how the situation is bad for Brody because Brody is forced to deal with the Zen Kodashi lock after. However, Ninth Blade, since we're under Murder Tide, is also going to generate 4 rune chants. The fact that we have these 4 rune chants means that we have 1 more turn to pressure Zen before winning the Kodashi lock, and we are going to leak damage this turn, like there's like no doubt about it. Depending on what options Brody has left in the deck, and the deck is looking really small, so this is probably pitch deck by now. There is a world where Brody is going to do 8 plus 9 here, make 4 rune chants, and next turn present a split damage in a way that will simply kill Zen. And there's no two ways about it. But let's see how it pans out. So how much damage is leaking here? I believe it's 5. 5 damage is going to leak. Zen is going down to 3. So I'm realizing a bunch of more stuff. This is a really good game. We're learning a lot. Here's another consideration that I missed before. On the turn where Brody opted to pass with the 6 rune chance rather than swing weapon, the reason he did that is because we were walking into a fatigue endgame, and I hadn't realized. I'm realizing it now. Also, this is why we're playing Blue Key Unleashed on the side of Zen. Zen, because he does so much damage and blocking is so inefficient, actually goes into fatigue endgames very often as, I guess, the aggro deck. And your win condition in fatigue endgames is Cosmic Awakening. However, Cosmic Awakening has this issue where you need to play out the full hand to... You need to have a full hand to resolve the Cosmic Awakening, right? And in fatigue endgames often you're too low to be able to do that. Key Unleashed works in this plan as a complement to this idea that Zen goes into fatigue sometimes, because the answer to Key Unleashed is not a particularly powerful card. The reason it's not particularly powerful is because you can just block it, right? However, when we're playing blue Key Unleashes and we have this endgame win condition of Cosmic Awakenings, just blocking it is actually really bad, because you don't want to be losing cards from your deck when Zen is like trying to buy time to fatigue you. So yeah, very cool game. We're learning a lot. Block 6, take 3. Oh, it's just one more card in deck. Okay, I didn't realize the deck was that small. But yeah, that was a really good game. The Key Unleashes really closed it out. Man, this was a fantastic game actually. Very interesting. Okay, so let's go back to our notes, and I think we're going to be adding a lot of stuff actually, chat, because we ended up learning a lot of random stuff during this game. First question we had, why so many drawn to the Dark Dimension? 2 cost with the Rune Chant discount means we get to play it for free a lot of the time. Most of the time even. And 043, 041, 042, if they're drawing you an arsenal at the end of the turn, this is always on rate. It's always slightly above rate actually. So this is good, this is great. Also, drawing you a card means that you get to keep playing 5-card hands, and with Viserai, the bigger the hand that you play, the better the hero ability's value is, right? So I think this makes sense. Drawn to the Dark Dimension makes a lot of sense to me. Final thing we have to think about is that Brody has built the deck in a way that every card is arsenalable. Okay, this Sonata look good, we did not bring it, which is also interesting. I would love to try to rationalize about that and think why we're doing that, but I don't know enough about Sonata. So a lot of Tiger generators should allow them to resolve many Chessedel early. This is true, this is what happened, but we also learned a lot more about why we play this way. We're actually going to grab this question from down here and we're going to break them together, because this is all the same subject and it's all the same insights. Going into this match, we wanted to understand the implications of playing a lot of Tiger generators. What I thought is that a lot of Tiger generators lets you resolve a lot of Chase the Tails early game. And you know, if you play a lot more cards early game, if you play your power cards more often early game, you can close the games out quicker. But this is kind of a short-sighted look at it. It actually opens up a lot more options. It is true that because of the way the deck is built, Nick was able to resolve Chase the Tails a lot of the times without needing Aspect of Tiger Body, which is kind of the traditional way to resolve Chase the Tail. However, there's kind of some added dimension here. Since our Aspect of Tiger Body is freed up to synergize with other cards, since it doesn't need to go with Chase the Tail all the time, we actually play other cards that have good synergy with Red Aspect of Tiger Body. And those cards, from what I saw, are Growl and Red Harmony of the Hunt. So in this game, what we saw in action was Growl. We saw this line where you play Growl, you play Aspect of Tiger Hunt, and then you get a Beefy Tiger after with pumps from both of them, right? This is a very similar combo line to the Tiger into Chase the Tail into Aspect of Tiger Body into Tiger. So it's Red Attack, Aspect of Tiger Body, payoff. Tiger. Another reason we're playing Red Armor of the Hand is that it splits the damage in a way that is more difficult to block. So something else that I was wondering going into this game is why are we playing Red Harmony of the Hunt instead of Red Tiger Form Incantation? I think the reason is twofold. First reason is because it has synergy with Aspect of Tiger Body. Second reason is because the damage split is more annoying on Harmony of the Hunt. Attack for 3, Tiger for 1, whereas Tiger Form Incantation, a lot of times it's going to be just Tiger for 4. Finally, we were thinking about 3 wax on, 3 wax off probably rolls Viserai. Wax off actually didn't resolve. Okay, so this was a banger game, we learned a lot. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.